The desert has always been a fairly scary place for humans because it's somewhere that we weren't designed to survive. Because of this, some very strange things have been found in deserts over the years, from a sand waterfall to an ancient Egyptian burial boat.
They're trying to excavate an ancient wooden boat that was buried nearly 5,000 years ago.
You'd be surprised at all of the things that have been found in the fields of sand. Make sure to stick around until the end. You wouldn't want to miss the massive stash of buried video games. Here are 15 of the strangest things found in the desert. Number 15. Gates of Hell. The Gates of Hell is a popular term used to describe a natural gas field in Turkmenistan that has been burning continuously for over 40 years. The fiery hole, which is approximately 230 feet wide and 98 feet deep, is located in the Darvaza gas crater in the Karakum Desert. The Gates of Hell were created in 1971 when Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas in the region. The drilling caused the ground to collapse and release a large amount of natural gas into the air. To prevent the release of toxic gases and the spread of the fire, the geologists decided to burn off the gas. They expected the fire to last only a few weeks, but it has been burning continuously since then. Despite its ominous name, the Gates of Hell is a popular tourist destination attracting thousands of visitors each year. The fiery hole is a unique and awe-inspiring sight, and it serves as a reminder of the destructive power of nature and the consequences of human intervention. Number 14. Sand Waterfall. The Waterfall of Sand, located in Saudi Arabia, is a unique and unusual geological phenomenon. The waterfall, also known as the Sand Curtain, is a continuous stream of sand that cascades down a cliff in the Arabian Desert. The waterfall of sand is thought to be caused by a combination of wind and gravity. Strong winds in the desert pick up sand particles and carry them to the top of the cliff, where they're deposited and create a sand dune. Over time, the weight of the sand dune becomes too much for the sand to hold, and it starts to cascade down the cliff, creating a waterfall-like effect. The waterfall of sand is a spectacular sight to behold, and it is a popular tourist destination for those who venture into the heart of the Arabian Desert. Despite its beauty, the waterfall of sand is also a reminder of the power of nature and the dynamic forces that shape the earth. Going over that cliff would be a very painful way to go, so it's highly recommended to stay back a good way. Number 13. The Hand of the Desert. The Mano del Desierto, or Hand of the Desert, is a massive sculpture located in the Atacama Desert of Chile. It was created by Chilean sculptor Mario Irrazabal and was unveiled in 1992. The sculpture is 15 meters tall and is made of concrete and steel, depicting a human hand rising from the sand, as if it were trying to reach for the sky. The Hand of the Desert is considered a symbol of hope and resilience and serves as a testament to the human spirit. It is a symbol of man's ability to survive and overcome even the harshest of environments, much like the people who live in the Atacama Desert. The hand is also seen as a symbol of humanity's connection to nature and the earth, reminding us of our place in the world. The location of the sculpture in the middle of the desert is deliberate and serves to emphasize its message. Visitors to the site can approach the hand from any direction, giving them a sense of its massive size and making it an impressive sight to behold. In addition to its symbolic significance, the Hand of the Desert is also a popular tourist destination. It attracts visitors from all over the world who come to admire its size, beauty, and the message it conveys. It is easily accessible from the nearby city of Antofagasta and is surrounded by scenic views of the desert landscape, making it a popular stop for travelers exploring the area. Number 12. a desert field of painted cars. The Cadillac Ranch is a public art installation located alongside Route 66 in Amarillo, Texas. It consists of 10 vintage Cadillacs partially buried nose first in the ground, creating an unusual and eye-catching sight for travelers along the highway. The installation was created in 1974 by a group of artists known as the Ant Farm and has since become an iconic landmark along Route 66 and a popular tourist destination. The Cadillac Ranch was created as a symbol of American pop culture and a tribute to the golden age of American automotive design. The cars used in the installation range from a 1949 Club sedan to a 1963 Sedan DeVille and represent a decade-by-decade progression of Cadillac design. The cars are painted in bright colors, making them even more striking against the backdrop of the surrounding plains. Visitors to the Cadillac Ranch are encouraged to leave their mark on the installation by painting the cars with spray paint.
Don't spray over me. And I also didn't wait till I get a picture.
This has created a colorful and ever-changing canvas with layers of new graffiti added on top of previous paintings. The result is a vibrant and eclectic display. that reflects the creativity of the people who have visited the site. The Cadillac Ranch is a testament to the enduring popularity of Route 66 and the cultural significance of American automobiles. It serves as a reminder of a time when the open road was a symbol of freedom and adventure and when the car was an essential part of the American dream.
Okay, the intrepid explorers go down to investigate the alien life form.
Number 11. Mysterious Metal Monolith. The Utah Monolith is a mysterious metal structure that was discovered in the remote wilderness of Utah's Red Rock Country in November 2020. The monolith, which stands approximately 12 feet tall and is made of a shiny metal material, was spotted by state wildlife workers conducting a routine survey of bighorn sheep in the area. The discovery of the monolith quickly captured the world's attention and sparked speculation about its origin and purpose. The exact location of the monolith was not disclosed by the authorities as they feared that the influx of visitors could harm the sensitive ecosystem and wildlife in the area. However, this only added to the mystery surrounding the structure, with many people speculating about who might have placed it there and why. Some suggested that it was the work of aliens or that it was a part of some sort of public art installation.
Let's see. So is it solid? Not solid. Sounds a little bit like a cardboard box.
While others saw it as a symbol of the human urge to explore and create. Despite the widespread interest in the monolith, its origins remained a mystery for several months. However, in November 2020, it was revealed that the structure had been placed there by a group of artists as part of an art project. The artists, who remain anonymous, said they wanted to create a work of art that would spark the imagination and encourage people to explore the wilderness.
But one of the greatest mysteries that had baffled archaeologists for centuries was, why were so many of the tombs empty?
Number 10. 8 million animal mummies. The discovery of over 8 million animal mummies in Egypt is one of the most fascinating finds in the history of archaeology. These mummies, which include cats, birds, ibises, and various other animals, were found in a variety of locations across Egypt and date back to a period between 600 BC and 400 AD. They provide a unique insight into the religious, cultural, and economic practices of ancient Egypt. The animal mummies were primarily produced for religious purposes and were used as offerings to various deities in the Egyptian pantheon. They were believed to serve as intermediaries between the gods and the people and were offered in exchange for blessings or to ensure a safe journey to the afterlife. The most common animals mummified were cats, which were revered in ancient Egypt as sacred animals associated with the goddess Bastet. It's unknown whether or not these animals were killed to be mummified or died of natural causes, though it's hopeful that with the Egyptians' reverence for cats, they were allowed to grow to old age and die peacefully. Number 9. Namibian Desert Ancient Ship Full of Gold. The discovery of an ancient ship full of gold in the Namibian desert was one of the most exciting archaeological finds in recent history. The ship, believed to date back to the 16th century, was discovered by a team of archaeologists in the remote skeleton coast of Namibia in 2023. The discovery of the ship, which was found in near-perfect condition, has generated widespread excitement and speculation about its origin and the events that led to it being buried in the sand for so many centuries. The ship was discovered in a remote region of the Namibian desert that is known for its harsh and inhospitable environment. Despite these conditions, the ship was found to be in remarkable condition, with much of its original structure and contents still intact. The ship was found to be loaded with gold, silver, and precious gems, and was believed to have been part of a larger fleet of ships that was carrying the wealth of an empire from one part of the world to another. Hopefully, those that passed on were happy, because this was a lot of dedication to put into the life after death.
They're trying to excavate an ancient wooden boat that was buried nearly 5,000 years ago.
Number 8. Egyptian Burial Boat. The discovery of a 5,000-year-old burial boat in Egypt is a remarkable find that has shed new light on the funerary practices of ancient Egyptians. The boat, which was found near the city of Luxor, dates back to the early dynastic period and is believed to have been used to transport the deceased to their final resting place. The boat, which measures over 60 feet in length, is in near-perfect condition and has been described as one of the best preserved examples of an ancient Egyptian boat. It is believed to have been used as part of the funerary procession that accompanied the deceased to their final resting place, and was buried with the body as part of the burial ritual. The boat is thought to have been part of a larger fleet of boats that have been used for the same purpose, and its discovery provides new insight into the scale and complexity of ancient Egyptian funerary practices. The boat was found in the vicinity of the Temple complexes in ancient Egypt. The discovery of the boat in this area is significant, as it provides new evidence of the close relationship between the temple and the funerary practices of the ancient Egyptians. The boat is believed to have been used to transport the deceased from the temple to their final resting place.
And what we have on 8 meter and 15 centimeter is their vision.
Number 7. The Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a collection of Jewish texts that were discovered in the 1940s in 11 caves around the Dead Sea in what is now modern-day Israel. The texts, which date from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE, some of the oldest surviving copies of the Hebrew Bible and provide valuable insight into the history and development of Judaism. The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered by a Budean shepherd in 1947, and since then over 900 texts have been recovered from the 11 caves. The texts are written in Hebrew, with some parts also written in Aramaic, and include fragments from every book of the Hebrew Bible, as well as other Jewish texts such as hymns, prayers, and apocalyptic works. The significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls lies in the fact that they predate the previously known oldest copies of the Hebrew Bible by over 1,000 years. This has allowed scholars to study the development and transmission of the biblical text over time, and has provided valuable insights into the religious and cultural life of ancient Jews. The texts also contain unique information about the beliefs and practices of a Jewish sect known as the Essenes, who lived in the vicinity of the Dead Sea in the Second Temple period. The Dead Sea Scrolls are considered to be one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century and have been the subject of extensive scholarly research and study. The texts are currently housed in the Israel Antiquities Authority and are open to the public for viewing, attracting thousands of visitors each year. Number 6. Mysterious Desert Circles. The Namibian fairy circles are a mysterious and fascinating phenomenon that have been observed in the Namibian desert for centuries. These circular patches of bare ground, which are surrounded by lush grass, have puzzled scientists and locals alike and have been the subject of much research and speculation. Fairy circles are typically found in the arid regions of Namibia and occur in vast numbers, with some estimates suggesting that there may be over 50,000 of these circles in the region. The circles are typically 2 to 15 meters in diameter and have been observed to persist for decades, with some circles estimated to be over 60 years old. world. Despite their prevalence in the region, the exact cause of the Namibian fairy circles remains a mystery. Several theories have been proposed to explain their formation, including the idea that they are caused by the activity of termites, by the competition for water between plants, or by the presence of toxic gases in the soil. However, none of these theories have been conclusively proven, all on your face while you're sleeping. It's time for today's subscriber pick. This peculiar image was taken out in an African desert. Although it's unknown exactly which one it was located within, it appears to be some sort of massive skeleton, with the end obviously being a type of skull considering those massive teeth. There's been lots of debate over what sort of creature this could be. Some are arguing that it could be some sort of snake or worm that moves throughout the sand, and that they generally never come to the surface to be seen by humans. Others argue that it's some sort of alien life form that fell down to Earth. What do you think this creature is? Do you think that it comes from this world? Remember to comment down below with and let us know what you think. Now on to the next topic. Number 5. Desert Ghost Town. Kolmanskop is a ghost town in the Atacama Desert in Namibia. It was once a thriving diamond mining town, but today it stands abandoned, a silent witness to a bygone area. Kolmanskop was founded in 1908 after a German railroad worker stumbled upon a diamond in the desert sands. The discovery sparked a diamond rush, and soon the town was home to over 1,000 people, including German settlers, miners, and their families. The town was designed to resemble a German settlement, with grand colonial-style homes, a hospital, a school, a casino, and even a skating rink. However, the diamond rush was short-lived, and by the 1930s, the town was in decline. The discovery of richer diamond deposits elsewhere in Namibia led to a shift in the diamond mining industry, and Kolmanskop became a ghost town. Today, the town stands abandoned, its buildings slowly being claimed by the desert sands. Number 4. Giant Dust Storm. The Burning Man Music Festival is an annual event that takes place in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada. Known for its vibrant art installations, eclectic music, and unique community spirit, the festival's become a cultural phenomenon in its own right. However, in recent years, the festival has also been the site of a unique and awe-inspiring meteorological event, the formation of a massive dust devil. A dust devil is a whirlwind that forms when hot air rises from the ground and rotates. Dust devils are relatively common in arid regions and are often formed in areas of low pressure, such as deserts. The dust devil that formed at the Burning Man Festival in Nevada was particularly impressive, however, due to its size and ferocity. The dust devil formed on the festival grounds and quickly grew to over 60 feet in height, creating a towering column of dust and debris that spun through the air. The sight was both awe-inspiring and a little unsettling, as the dust devil seemed to have a life of its own, sweeping across the festival grounds and picking up anything in its path. The dust devil created quite a stir among festival goers, who were caught off guard by the sudden appearance of the whirlwind. Some people reported feeling a sense of awe at the sheer power of the dust devil, while others expressed concern about the safety of festival goers in the path of the whirlwind. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but it was still a terrifying display of the power of the wind. Number 3. Desert Breath. Desert Breath is an outdoor land art installation located in the Sahara Desert in Egypt. Created by a team of artists in 1997, Desert Breath is a large-scale work of art that aims to explore the relationship between humans and the natural world. The installation covers an area of approximately 97 acres and features a series of interlocking circular patterns that are carved into the desert sands. The patterns are created by removing the top layer of sand and exposing the underlying red soil, creating a striking contrast between the two. The circular patterns are arranged in such a way that they create a sense of movement as the wind is blowing across the desert sands. Desert Breath is not only a work of art, but also a social and environmental statement. The artists who created this installation aim to draw attention to the degradation of the Sahara Desert, which is threatened by a number of factors, including climate change, desertification, and human intervention. By creating a work of art that is both beautiful and thought-provoking, the artists aim to raise awareness about the importance of preserving the desert and its delicate ecosystem. Number 2. Snow in desert. Snow in the Sahara Desert is a rare and incredible sight, and one that recently captured the attention of the world when it fell in the Algerian Sahara. The desert, which is typically known for its scorching temperatures and vast stretches of sand, was transformed into a winter wonderland as snow blanketed the dunes and created a stunning contrast between the white snow and the orange sand. The snowfall in the Sahara Desert is a result of a cold front that swept across the region, bringing with it snow and low temperatures. The snowfall was not only unexpected but also historic, as it is extremely rare for snow to fall in the desert, with only a handful of snowfalls being recorded in the last century. The snowfall had a profound effect on the local community. As many people had never seen snow before, children ran outside to play in the snow, and locals took to social media to share photos and videos of the stunning sight. The snow also provided a unique opportunity for tourists who flocked to the desert to see the snow and experience a once-in-a-lifetime event. It's a beautiful sight, but there's always the terrifying thought in the back of everyone's mind that this could be the result of climate change, which is a scary prospect. Number 1. Buried video games. The buried Atari games refer to a landfill in Alamogordo, New Mexico, where thousands of unsold and returned copies of the video game E.T. the Extraterrestrial were buried in 1983. The game was one of the worst received video games of its time and was considered a commercial failure, leading Atari to bury the unsold copies in an attempt to dispose of the evidence of the game's failure. The landfill remained a mystery for decades, with many video game enthusiasts and historians speculating about its existence and the fate of the buried games. In 2013, a team of archaeologists, filmmakers, and video game enthusiasts teamed up to locate the landfill and uncover the truth about the buried Atari games. The excavation of the landfill was a massive undertaking, involving the removal of tons of dirt and trash to reach the layer of games. When the games were finally uncovered, they were found to be in surprisingly good condition, despite being buried for over 30 years. The discovery of the buried games generated a great deal of excitement among the video game community and sparked a renewed interest in the history of video games and their impact on popular culture.
Around 10 years ago, a huge, just massive aquifer was discovered in the Turkana region of Kenya. Back then, the country's government said this aquifer could supply all of Kenya with water for 70 years. Then they found another aquifer in Namibia, the driest country in Africa south of the Sahara. Recently, the U.S. announced the discovery of 5 new aquifers in Niger containing over 150 trillion gallons of water. For comparison, Egypt's current water demand is about 30 trillion gallons per year, so it turns out that Africa has had massive water reserves all this time. But why isn't anyone using it? I mean, it's obvious that people in Africa need water. If it were all simple, I wouldn't be making this video. And yes, I need coffee. See that strange half moon on the ground? Actually, it's a semicircular earth bund with a dugout pit that the Kenyans put together. This simple structure is used to collect rainwater, and it's critical for the locals to have enough of it. Without it, farming would be impossible, and people would lose their livelihoods. Now think about what people have to go through just to get some water, even though they're actually living right above huge natural reservoirs. As strange and absurd as it may sound, Africa is a continent with a massive supply of water. Look at the map. The blue spots are aquifers found on every continent containing a lot of fresh water. According to scientists' estimates, around 30% of the entire planet's supply. On the map, Africa doesn't look as dry as usual. On the contrary, it's full of water. The researchers who created this map say that many countries now deemed water poor actually possess a true treasure of groundwater. If you speak in numbers, you'll find that the continent holds almost 9% of the world's freshwater supplies. And that's Africa. The dry, always struggling with water shortages Africa. But this picture doesn't fit with the reality, where Africa actually has 63 remarkable transboundary river basins that cover 64% of the continent's land area. In other words, more than half of the continent is made up of river basins. That's quite a bit. However, the total volume of water in underground aquifers is 100 times greater than the volume found on the surface. In any case, that's what scientists believe. They did a bunch of different measurements and figured out that the volume of groundwater in African aquifers is about 160,000 cubic miles. This is 20 times more than the volume of fresh water in Africa's lakes. The largest underground reserves are located in North Africa, meaning in Libya, Algeria, and Chad. The volume of water in these basins You know, to make it easier to visualize, I'll put it this way. If you pumped all this water out from underground and then poured it on the surface, it'd form a 246-foot thick layer across these countries. Until now, groundwater has been largely ignored by researchers, and its potential applications have not been considered. But recent maps and findings might change this perspective. To understand how to use these reserves, you need to figure out what exactly this aquifer is. To put it simply, it's a layer of rock where groundwater is stored. Most people have probably heard of it, but just to clarify, it's a term used to describe water that seeped into the soil and stayed there. It's not underground rivers or lakes, it's just, well, it seeped in. Since the rocks that hold the water are usually too porous, water can't move through them like a river, it's just there. And by the way, most of the water we use for household, industrial, or agricultural purposes is actually groundwater. To access it, we drill wells and then gradually pump the water out. Of course, aquifers come in different sizes and shapes. It all depends on the rock they're located in. Some can be like caves and hold large volumes of water. Others might be a few feet to hundreds of feet thick, but with several layers, like a cake. Aquifers can stretch out over many miles or be localized in certain areas. In Africa, most aquifers are found less than 164 feet below the surface. In South Africa, there are two huge aquifers. The largest one stretches from Cape Town to the city of Kibera, which is 466 miles away from it. This geological formation covers a surface area of 14,300 square miles and has a thickness ranging from 3,000 to 13,000 feet. The second major aquifer is the Cape Flats Aquifer. In North Africa, there are significant water reserves such as the Nubian Sandstone. This aquifer covers an area of about 770,000 square miles and spans across Libya, Chad. Well, I already mentioned it. It contains more than 36,000 cubic miles of groundwater, which is more water than the Nile River discharges over 500 years. And that's just a portion of the aquifers I've mentioned. Covering each one would take more than just a single video. Water gets into these aquifers in various ways. Some of them fill up with new sediments, while others contain old or even ancient ones. Take the Nubian Sandstone Aquifer system, for example. It also happens to be the largest fossil water system in the world. As you might guess from the name, fossil water is an ancient body of water that was contained in some untouched space for thousands of years. Water seeped into Africa's aquifer about 1,000 years ago when the climate conditions were very different from today. The Sahara Desert didn't exist yet, and where it is now there was a tropical forest, like a real one. For a significant part of the Paleocene and Eocene, roughly from 66 to 34 million years ago, most of what's now southern and central Sahara had a hot, wet climate. Perfect conditions for growing something like the Amazon rainforests. In general, since that time, water's been underground, unaware that things have changed a bit up top. All right, we figured out where the water comes from, but how do we get it out? There are different ways to access groundwater, including hand-dug wells, drilled wells, and even natural springs. But if it were that simple, many experts agree that large-scale drilling might not be the best way to increase water supplies. The problem is that many groundwater reservoirs aren't getting refilled due to the absence of rain, so big-time drilling might quickly drain the resources. Even in the driest areas where there's very little rainfall now, groundwater can stay in the ground from 20 to 70 years, and sometimes slower methods of extraction can be more effective. So correctly positioned and set up wells for moderate farming water needs and hand pumps are probably going to work well. And then I came across some interesting statistics. In North Africa, 92% of the population have access to safe water, which is pretty good. But in countries in Africa south of the Sahara, this figure remains at a frighteningly low level, 60%, which means 40% of 783 million people in this region don't have access to clean drinking water at all. In these areas, the daily water use per household per person is also the lowest in the world. It's much lower than the minimum personal and household consumption level established by the UN, which is just 13 gallons a day. Apart from large cities, in many places there's no water supply, so people have to depend on the only other option, fetching water. Often a family member had to spend 30 minutes or more to bring water home every single day in the heat. To collect water, they use a canister, a bright yellow plastic container that used to be filled with vegetable oil. If you fill it to the brim, it's around 5 gallons. The job is really tough, especially since the canisters are frequently carried by hand with no carts and not on a smooth, straight road. Plus, there are lines for water. At the hand pump, you can end up spending even more time there than traveling. Depending on the family size and household needs, like laundry, women might need to make this trip several times in a single day. Sometimes water is only available at certain hours, so it's not just about the walk, you also need to rush. Over time, this leads to health problems, particularly affecting the neck and back. And all of this happens at the same time as huge volumes of water are right under these people's feet. In recent years, the water situation has worsened. The percentage of people in sub-Saharan Africa with access to piped water in their homes has actually decreased from 42% to 34%. Mainly, this is due to a low amount of precipitation over extended periods. This caused approximately 90% of wells to dry up in countries in the region that were already dealing with a lack of water. And as is often the case, a shortage of something brings about shady sellers. There are now whole unregulated water markets where vendors not only sell poor quality water, but also keep hiking up the prices. What are buyers supposed to do when they don't have other choices? But as absurd as it sounds, even heavy rains don't help with the water shortage. Extreme rainfall leads to flooding, and flooding poses a serious threat to water supply. This includes infrastructure damage, pollution of water sources, and ruined drainage systems. Some countries, like Kenya, face a higher risk of landslides during heavy rains, plus during floods, the sea level rises, and this also leads to water pollution. Just when you start to wonder why people in Africa are still suffering from a lack of water despite its presence, science comes to the rescue. Science reveals that the water scarcity in many parts of Africa isn't due to an actual shortage of water. There are other reasons. Geography is largely to blame. Resources are distributed extremely unevenly. 54% of the continent's reserves are concentrated in just 6 countries, while the 27 countries facing severe water shortages have access to only 7%. It's unfair, but there's no one to blame. Another challenge is the extraction of groundwater. While South Africa's aquifers contain around 62 trillion gallons of water, much of it cannot be pumped out. Besides the geological limitations, there are serious concerns that without water, the soil will just sink. If the water table's near the shore, drawing it out can bring in salty ocean water. And that's it, the entire reserve will be worthless. Draining water from an underground cave could cause it to collapse, create a sinkhole, and people could get hurt as a result. Even river levels might go down due to depleted aquifers. Aquifers won't always help solve the water shortage problem either. For example, early research results showed that water from Turkana Aquifer in Kenya seems unsuitable for use. It's just too salty. And that's not even considering that Africa's aquifers stretch beyond national borders. So water will have to be shared. And when it's in short supply, that sounds like a huge problem. We're talking about something on the scale of a military conflict. And of course, there are the issues of logistics and cost. For instance, the distance between the aquifer and the spot where the water is needed could become a big problem. Building pipelines and infrastructure is super costly, so who's going to want to deal with that? Drilling down to reach groundwater can be quite expensive. Before drilling begins, a kind of surface scan is performed to ensure that there are valuable water resources worth tapping into. And then there's the cost of the drilling rig, and the workers' salaries, and a bunch of other smaller expenses. So water quality is an issue too. Sometimes it's contaminated by human activity. Sometimes water acquires traits from the surrounding soil, like having too much iron. I've already mentioned the potential salinity. Also, if you drill deeper than 165 feet, a manual pump just won't be enough to remove the water. You'll need an automatic, which means additional costs. At depths greater than 330 feet, the cost of drilling wells increases significantly due to the need for more complex drilling equipment. The cost might be around $130,000 for one well, though access and infrastructure issues could drive this number up. So due to the lack of investment, underground water sources remain unused or even unexplored. There's no cash for infrastructure, no experts, and no idea about what to do with these vast aquifers. But still, there's some good news. It's expected that by 2036, $274 million will be invested in the development of these aquifers in South Africa. If all goes well, they'll provide about half the volume of water in the Berg River Dam, which supplies almost 20% of Cape Town's water. Countries that share the northern aquifer have already agreed on fair usage. It's a bit simpler there. Digging riverbeds versus drought. Right now, while you're watching this video, Southern Africa is battling one of the worst droughts in recent history. About 70 million people are left without enough food and water, and where rivers used to be, there's just beige sand. To get even a little bit of water, people are digging into the riverbeds, and it helps. Along the riverbed, there are pits large enough to hold a bucket. People drink this water, use it for washing, and water their livestock with it. And to get this water, locals have to spend even more time and effort every day. Imagine having to walk 3 hours to get a bucket of murky water. Horrible. Cape Town water crisis. From 2015 to 2018, Cape Town experienced a drought that happens once every 400 years. It put the city with a population of about 4.6 million people on the brink of day zero, the point when Cape Town would run out of water, as in completely. At that time, Cape Town was on the brink of running out of water. Authorities considered turning off the water supply, which would have made it the first major city in the world to completely deplete its municipal water resources. And this isn't the kind of first in the world that's something to be proud of. The residents narrowly avoided this fate by drastically cutting back on their water use, and then the rain started. The richest city without water. In March of this year, residents of Johannesburg, Africa's wealthiest city, faced a severe water shortage during a scorching heat wave. Local businesses and even hospitals were hit hard. Nurses complained to the media that they couldn't even wash their hands. The water shortage wasn't because there was no water. Instead, the issue came about due to problems with the country's electricity supply. A lightning strike hit a crucial pumping station, causing a power outage, and that was it. Thankfully, everything got fixed in the end.
It's clear that snakes are deadly hunters, but not all snakes are created equal. Some use venom, and others like to suffocate their prey to death. Both techniques are deadly, and both are extremely effective. Join us as we look at 15 brutal snake hunting moments. 15 python attacks. Gazelle impala. The python is the only snake capable of killing and swallowing an impala. This snake is as long as a car and can weigh up to 200 pounds. Even though the python isn't venomous, it possesses 90 razor-sharp teeth, so this snake's bite is rather painful. Once he gets a hold of its prey, he coils around it and suffocates it to death before swallowing it whole. This incredible video shows an African rock python, one of the largest snake species on the planet, slowly swallowing an impala whole. The video shows the snake's head slowly slinking across the impala's body as the snake seems to magically stretch barely wide enough to swallow the creature whole. Amazingly enough, taking down such a large animal is not out of the ordinary for these predators. A gazelle found itself in the wrong area and was greeted by a famished python. This python is one of the biggest I've seen. Snakes consume their food whole. Small rodents are sometimes their prey, but snakes like pythons and boas can eat entire animals such as this gazelle. The secret to digesting such large prey lies in their stomach and metabolism. The snake has a walking jaw for larger prey. The two halves of its jaw can function independently and walk over their large prey, swallowing it head first. If the animal is still alive, the curved fangs prevent it from escaping, digging in deeper as it tries to escape. The food then travels down the esophagus to the stomach. To break down food, a snake's stomach, like many other stomachs in the animal kingdom, secretes a cocktail of acid and digestive enzymes. We proceed from the stomach to the small intestine. 14 snake attacks rabbit. The poor black rabbit in this video has no clue a gigantic snake is sneaking up on it. Even though this hunt is occurring outside, I'm quite sure this is a live feed, and the man filming owns the snake. A snake snatches a cute, unsuspecting little bunny rabbit during a live feed and easily suffocates the rabbit to death. I have seen some rabbits attack and kill snakes, but it wasn't the case in this video. 13 python attacks goat. I don't know how this goat managed to get up with this python coiled around it, but it did. Now, all it needs to do is find a way out of its predicament. A little help from the guy filming wouldn't hurt, but that doesn't come. So what does the goat do? It decides to walk away as it tries to rid itself of the snake. But the snake remains partially wrapped around the goat until the goat falls to the ground again, and that's when the video ends. When a curious goat approaches a python, the snake lashes out at the goat, and suddenly, we see the snake coiling itself around the goat. That was fast. The goat tries to run away, but it's not that easy, only we don't see the outcome because the video ends abruptly. Just as this python is about to kill this goat, a man hits the snake with a large stick, scaring the reptile away. The goat is set free and flees. These villagers really seem to care about their goat, so they risk their own lives to save it. 12 snake hunts bird. This snake is called the Iranian spider-tailed viper because of its unique elaborated arachnid-like caudal structure. The snake, reported only in western Iran so far, uses its tail movements for defense and hunting. By moving the tip of the tail, the structure is reminiscent of a moving spider, luring potential prey. This gaboon viper feeds on everything from mice to birds to young antelope and monkeys. It makes no difference if you make a minor error. There's no getting away from her once she has set her sights on a subject. Her strike isn't the fastest in the snake world, but it gets the job done at more than 20 feet per second. The creature is stunned by the strike, and the complex venom combination floods its body quickly. The snake adjusts her fangs as she waits for her victim to die. They can be extremely inconvenient at times. It's all over in less than 10 minutes. Another spider-tailed horned viper blends in so well with its surroundings that animals actually land on it or fly towards it like this bird, because they can't tell it's a snake. This snake seems to be an expert in the art of camouflage, and when the bird flies close enough, it is gobbled up by the snake. 11 snake attacks squirrel. I have seen some squirrels attack and kill snakes, but it's not the case in this video. A squirrel has been caught, and after being killed by the snake, it can be seen being swallowed whole by the reptile. A yellow rat snake drops out of a tree after it spots a squirrel and neutralizes the little rodent before coiling itself around it to suffocate and eventually swallow it whole. The man filming this video saw a rat snake, which had been residing in his rain gutter, catch a squirrel. Rat snakes are not venomous, but they are excellent at keeping your backyard free of pests, such as rodents, frogs, and other small critters. 10 snake hunts. In our thumbnail, we can see a rodent stuck inside a snake's mouth. Actually, it's not stuck. It's on its way to meet the Grim Reaper. Rats are a favorite of snakes, including larger pythons. Pythons are opportunistic feeders, which means they will eat whatever they come across, big or small. They eat almost any time food is offered, and often act hungry, even when they have recently eaten. The black mamba is Africa's deadliest snake. Untreated, its bite has a fatality rate of 100%, making it a killer among killers on a continent where it is thought that nearly 20,000 people die of snake bites each year. Contrary to pythons, they are not constrictors, but it doesn't change anything for the rat, because he is killed and swallowed just the same. During a live feed, a small mouse is struck numerous times as it tries to escape the wrath of a hungry cobra. The little rodent is actually quite resilient, because the cobra has to work to make this kill. What a tough little mouse. 9 python attacks. Crocodile, alligator. A python swallows a small crocodile in this video, while the reptile is still alive. It's a slow process, but my mom always told me it was better to eat slowly. Only the crocodile tries to get out of the snake's mouth, which forces the snake to move. It's fascinating to watch. And to be honest, even though I'm no expert, I think this crocodile is cooked, fried, and roasted. A python tries choking an alligator before swallowing it whole, but loses control of the reptile for a few seconds, before latching onto it again and eventually swallowing it. The Burmese python is one of the largest snakes in the world. It can weigh close to 200 pounds and reach over 20 feet long, meaning no Everglades mammal is a match for its never-ending hunger. The snake coils around its prey before swallowing its meal whole. Originally brought from Southeast Asia to the US as pets, enough have now escaped that these deadly predators have rapidly bred and are now moving closer and closer to Florida's residents' 8 snake attacks lizard. In this video, a striped racer attacks and begins to swallow a western fence lizard. The incident was caught on video by a man who was hiking in the area. These golden tree snakes are gorgeous, pretty much harmless to humans, and all over the island where the man recording this video was staying. It is known as a flying snake because it can jump and glide from tree to tree. It loves to crawl up palm trees, and they saw several mating at the top of a palm tree. The death adder, like the mulga, is one of the world's deadliest snakes. Rather than racing over the desert after his prey, he sits and hides, waiting for his prey to come to him. The death adder's 2-foot-long body is painted in gentle desert colors that go in wonderfully with his arid surroundings. His unnerving eyes survey the horizon for potential victims as he lies motionless. This roaming skink is completely unaware of his presence. For a successful kill, surprise is crucial when it comes to unleashing his lethal strike. He must persuade the skink to come within striking distance. This devious desert con artist reveals a hidden weapon. The tip of his tail, slightly flattened and deeper in color, appears to have a life of its own. It resembles a nice squirming grub when the snake twitches it. For a hungry skink, this clever optical illusion creates an alluring honey trap. The curious skink, on the other hand, remains just out of reach. The death adder, cold and calculating, steadily pulls the bait closer to his head. His trap is now in place. The skink is mesmerized and succumbs to temptation. It's the fastest strike of all Australian snakes, as a lethal dose of fast-acting neurotoxins puts an end to the hunt. This clinical desert con artist now has time to peacefully eat his home-delivered lunch. 7 indigo attacks. Another snake. Some snakes are not picky, and even when they encounter enemies from the same species, they will prey on them. This indigo snake is on the prowl, and it notices a rat snake nearby. The indigo snake doesn't waste any time and attacks the rat snake right away. It's a simple hunt, and the rat snake isn't much of an adversary, so the indigo devours the rat snake whole in a jiffy. Because the prey snake's body becomes more compressible as its tissues are digested. The wavelength and amplitude of the prey snake's vertebral column waves decrease as the prey snake is digested. These two snakes are held in captivity, or perhaps this rattlesnake is this indigo's lunch. Whatever the case, the indigo is having the rattlesnake for breakfast. The beautiful eastern indigo is North America's longest native snake. These jet black animals, which are immune to rattlesnake venom, are known to regularly prey on another large predator, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. In this battle, a Texas indigo snake is challenged by a diamondback rattlesnake. The indigo approaches the rattlesnake, after which neither of the two snakes do much, until the indigo strikes several times. But the rattlesnake hasn't said his last word, and you can see the fangs of the snake when he strikes the indigo. They are scary. Nonetheless, it looks like the indigo triumphs at the end of this wicked battle. 6 snake hunts sandbar deer. Like all snakes, Indian pythons are strict carnivores and feed on mammals, birds, and reptiles indiscriminately, but seem to prefer mammals, like this sandbar deer. Roused to activity on sighting prey, the snake advances with a quivering tail and lunges with an open mouth. Live prey is constricted and killed. 1 or 2 coils are used to hold it in a tight grip. The prey, unable to breathe, succumbs and is subsequently swallowed head first. After a heavy meal, they are disinclined to move. If forced to, hard parts of the meal may tear through the body. Therefore, if disturbed, some specimens disgorge their meal to escape from potential predators. After a heavy meal, an individual may fast for weeks, the longest recorded duration being 2 years. The python can swallow prey bigger than its diameter because the jaw bones are not connected. Moreover, prey cannot escape from its mouth because of the arrangement of the teeth, which are reverse saw-like. A group of hunters witness an unusual sight when they come across a python devouring a blesbok. They arrive just as the snake is about to devour the blesbok's head, and the python devours the entire blesbok in under 5 hours. It was still there the next day, undisturbed, with a massive figure in its stomach. The video was sped up 8 times to show the entire process of the python swallowing the blesbok, as well as the snake's strength and power as it squeezed the blesbok's entrails apart to fit within its mouth. This is extremely rare footage, but these hunters were fortunate enough to see it. In this video, a python is seen eating and swallowing a sandbar deer. The world's longest pythons are capable of eating deer and even smaller crocodiles. Snakes' flexible skulls allow them to swallow large, bulky prey. Contrary to popular belief, snakes do not dislocate their jaws to consume large prey. They simply have more complex jaw joints than other vertebrates. 5 snake attacks. This cat's bad luck after it is snatched by a snake turns, when a couple of good Samaritans use a stick to free the feline. One of the men is seen dragging the snake away after the cat is freed. I just love watching these people handle large snakes as if they were worms. I can almost feel this wild cat's pain watching this video. The cat is crushed by the snake, and there is no help this time around. I guess it's time to say hello to St. Peter. Cats are excellent when it comes to fighting snakes. I have seen many cats attack and kill, even venomous snakes. But in this video, it looks like the fight is even, and we do not have a clear winner when the video ends. 4. Snake attacks frog. A powerful family of snakes reigns over the reptilian universe, spreading terror. Equipped with deadly attributes, the cobra family instills fear and chaos in the wilds of Africa and Asia, as the cobra in this video crushes and swallows a frog. The snake in this video is a rescued eastern garter snake, and he's back to full health and eating. Unfortunately, he wants live food only, so his owner gave him a toad, which is part of his natural diet. Now that he's eating again, he can be set free, so he can fund and hunt his own food. Is adapted because of the toxins in a toad's skin. Most snakes, and indeed most other animals, avoid eating them. Some snakes, however, not only tolerate the toxins, but also store them for their own defensive arsenal. Some snakes consume toads by swallowing them whole. Others cut a hole in the toad's stomach, insert their heads, and feast on organs and tissues. All of this takes place while the amphibian is still alive. In this video, the snake looks like it's off to a good start, but his meal quickly turns into a nightmare when the toad's poison takes effect. At the end of the video, we can see the toad still alive, and the snake is nowhere to be found. 3 snake attacks bat. The name eyelash palm pit viper comes from the upturned scales above its eyes. The distinguishing feature may aid in its ability to conceal itself. Its dazzling colors allow it to blend into fruit and flowers, which attract prey. The true secret to this viper's success, however, is revealed at night. The forest is enveloped in darkness, and the patient hunter waits in ambush. Typically, a fruit-eating bat can detect the smallest movement of a snake using echolocation. The viper strike is extremely fast. The unwary bat had no idea what was coming. The eyelash palm pit viper now demonstrates yet another surprising characteristic that makes it an effective predator. Most venomous snakes strike their prey and then detach, allowing the venom to do its work while they stand back. This isn't one of them. It can't afford to miss a meal. As a result, the viper hangs on while the victim struggles and eventually collapses. Snakes rarely eat bats, but this python isn't fussy and will eat whatever is available. I must say the bat in this video is giving this snake a run for its money. This bat is biting the snake as well. What a surprising turn of events. I'm completely taken aback. The bat, believe it or not, repels the snake and flees. The poor bat is exhausted and unable to move away from the snake, but the snake, shockingly, admits defeat and slithers away. I swear I wasn't expecting this. What about you? This snake appears to be having a good time chewing on this bat. I can almost see the snake's eyes light up with delight as he tries to swallow the little bat. This is the Yucatan rat snake, and it has adapted to hunting bats in their roosting caves in central Mexico. Thousands of bats leave the cave every evening at sundown, heading out in search of food. Not only are the bats on the move, but hungry rat snakes emerge from their crevices to dangle from the cave roof, ready to snare the bats as they pass through. 2 cobra snake attack. Puff adder in this deadly fight between these 2 deadly snakes. There can be only one winner. I believe this pair to be a puff adder and a Cape cobra that go head to head on the main trail up Table Mountain, Cape Town, South Africa. One bite from either of these, and any animal besides maybe the honey badger and mongoose is in a world of pain. The king cobra is the world's largest venomous snake and a relentless hunter of snakes. The lone king cobra can be found in India's rainforest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical scrub forest, and tropical grasslands, particularly in the Western Ghats. The king cobra has a lifespan of roughly 20 years and can slither on land, climb trees, and swim in water. Snakes and lizards are among the cold-blooded species eaten by the king cobra. Puff adders are venomous and dangerous, but it seems like the king cobra in this video doesn't mind, as it strikes the puff adder and is struck back. This time, a Cape cobra decides to leave the battlefield, when the 2 people filming get to close to the snake and spook it. The puff adder is barely moving, perhaps because it is already injured. 1 python attacks wild pig. This pig in this video was on his way to visit some family, and it decided to take this road. But little did it know a monstrous snake was waiting for it, and when it approached, the snake ambushed the piggy and coiled itself around it. You can see how the snake squeezes the animal to death while it's swallowing it whole. I must say, it doesn't look like fun, even for the snake. Could you imagine having to open your mouth so wide every time you ate? When a few pigs go looking for food, one of them quickly turns into a meal for a large and hungry python. The snake coils itself around the pig, slowly suffocating it to death, before swallowing it whole. In this black and white,
leopards are the smallest of the big cats, so it's no surprise hyenas and wild dogs have no problem challenging them. But they are the stealthiest, and when your target can't see you, it's almost a sure kill. If you want to see these skilled and stealthy cats in all their splendor, join us as we look at leopards attacking other animals, even donkeys. Number 15. Leopard hunts hare. This young leopard catches a scrub hare only to release it so it can catch it again. I guess when the day is boring, it's one way to make it exciting. This leopard waits for a bunny to walk by and jumps it immediately. The only problem is the bunny is small and quick and runs out of there faster than the leopard can tell you, "Gotcha." It looks like this bunny wasn't fast enough to avoid this leopard, and now it's going to be prepped for lunch by the feline. On a game drive in the northern Serengeti, a leopard named Mama Sayari, with only one good eye because her right eye was damaged by a zebra kick, discovers a scrub hare just a few feet in front of a safari vehicle, and in that moment, the big cat is on it like a lightning bolt. Number 14, leopard attacks baboon. The leopard is a highly skilled cat, and the way this leopard climbs a tree in this video and hunts a monkey, you would think the big cat is more skilled than the primate. The leopard has got to be, by far, the most skilled big cat when hunting in trees. Watch how another leopard displays immense skill when the big cat jumps from one tree to another after spotting a monkey. The monkey tries to escape, but the leopard is way too fast and skilled to let his prey get away. A monkey chooses the wrong day to taunt a hungry leopard in this video. The cat bounces up a tree like a Super Ball and makes the kill, after which it carries its prey right in front of the woman filming to take his prey up into another tree. A normal leopard would never dare to stalk baboons in broad daylight. The troop appears to be completely unaware of the impending threat. She's out in the open, but she's remarkably unseen. She goes for the kill and comes away with a minor but significant victory. Number 13, leopard attacks gazelle. A beautiful female leopard creeps out of the bush in the early morning in Masai Mara and spots a group of unsuspecting impalas and gazelles. Crouching stealthily in the long grass, the animal hunts, creeping closer and closer, waiting for the perfect moment, and then pounces swiftly on its prey. It then carries the carcass off into the bushes where it plays with it before it begins to eat it. This female leopard does not hesitate to leap several meters from the top of a tree to reach her prey. Leopards are probably the best of the big cats at stealth and ambushing unsuspecting prey. Africa is a land sculpted by time where animals have evolved complex weapons to arm them in the battle to live another day. In this video, a leopard sets its sights on a solo gazelle that's been separated from the herd as it goes on the hunt for its dinner and strikes gold in the process. Number 12, leopard attacks mountain goat. Snow leopards can kill prey 3 times their own weight. Blue sheep, Argali wild sheep, ibex, marmots, pikas, deer, and other small mammals are eaten. Local communities hunt the animals that snow leopards typically hunt, such as the Argali sheep. In this video, a beautiful snow leopard surprises a small herd of mountain goats as the big cat comes out of nowhere, but to the feline surprise, the goats are quick enough to disperse and escape just in time. When a snow leopard goes looking for ibex in the deep snow, he finds one hiding under a cliff. But the large animal makes a run for it and avoids being caught by the big cat, who continues walking downhill to complete his hunting mission. Its massive paws function as crampons for climbers. Their claws provide extra traction on the slick rock. The snow leopard's agility allows it to catch 2 large mammals per month on average, such as the mountain goat it is chasing on impossible terrain in this video. Unfortunately, this time around, the snow leopard comes up empty. Number 11. Leopard attacks warthog. A guide was assigned to drive guests from area to area for action shots to help them remember their African trip. Initially, he went in search of hyenas, driving from one spot to the next in the hopes of coming across these spotted hunters. Instead, he was treated to a once-in-a-lifetime sighting of a leopard killed just 5 meters from his vehicle. The leopard had captured a warthog instead of an impala, much to everyone's surprise. Mr. Leopard obviously caught it before it could duck underground, because the hog's den was located behind the thicket where the impalas were feeding. The warthog fought bravely, squealing and kicking until it was suffocated by the leopard's powerful jaws. It wasn't until the dust settled that everyone realized how fortunate they had been. It was priceless to see the entire kill from start to finish right in front of them. The leopard, exhausted and out of breath, dragged its prize into a thicket, took a well-deserved rest, and then feasted on his catch. The adrenaline wore off only an hour after everyone returned to camp, and no one could stop talking about what they had seen during dinner. Although some guests were sad, the majority were excited and ready for their next drive, because you never know what Mother Nature has in store for your next adventure. A young male leopard hunts, stalks, and kills a warthog at the Thorny Bush Game Reserve in South Africa. Leopard-warthog engagements are always thrilling to watch. In this fight, the leopard successfully caught the large warthog. The winner of these conflicts is never guaranteed. But the leopard got a firm hold on his victim, and despite a brave effort, the the warthog eventually succumbed. This is a classic leopard versus warthog scene when a male leopard takes on a warthog almost as big as himself. The leopard puts his own life on the line for the sake of a warthog meal. Both the leopard and the warthog become locked in mortal combat as each tries to ensure their own survival. Warthogs have been known to mortally wound leopards in situations such as this, and big male leopards will often catch bigger warthogs than this. The male leopard was the victor this time around. Number 10. Leopard attacks donkey. If you didn't already know, leopards attack and kill donkeys, and it's quite clear in our thumbnail as a leopard hangs on to a donkey's neck, trying to take it down in the process. This video is our thumbnail in action, and I'm impressed by the donkey's strength and stamina as he manages to run around with the big cat latched onto his neck to try and fend him off, and when he does, he even chases a leopard away. I did not expect this sort of resolution to this hunt. After a leopard spots an unsuspecting donkey on a country road, the big cat runs and jumps on the animal, choking it to death. It's a quick kill, but the donkey did not have time to react or defend itself. A donkey tries to save his friend after a leopard attacked it and remained latched onto the animal. The man filming walks out of his car with a rock in hand, but the leopard takes off before he can use it. Number 9. Snow leopard hunts ibex. In this gripping wildlife footage, we witness the heart-stopping moment when a snow leopard tries to take down a Himalayan ibex in the rugged mountain terrain of the Himalayas. With a herd of ibexes grazing in the distance, the snow leopard is seen stealthily stalking its prey, carefully inching closer to the unsuspecting ibex. As the snow leopard moves in for the kill, the ibex senses danger and makes a daring escape, leading to a thrilling chase through the rocky landscape. With breathtaking scenery and a nail-biting showdown between two of nature's most skilled mammals, this video captures the raw power and beauty of the natural world. Watch this unbelievable sequence where a snow leopard tumbles down a mountain with its prey, a blue sheep, and what is truly astounding is that both animals are not injured after all that tumbling, as the sheep continues to jump down the cliff until it takes one wrong step and falls off. The snow leopard watches and remains on the side of the cliff, thinking of what to do next. After figuring things out for a few seconds, the big cat slowly walks down the cliff towards the remains of the dead sheep. In this video, a snow leopard demonstrates its ability to kill prey 3 times its own weight. The snow leopard hunts the ibex, and when it succeeds, it can feed the entire family. Snow leopards make sounds like other large cats, such as purring, mewing, hissing, growling, moaning, and yowling. However, snow leopards cannot roar due to the physiology of their throat, and instead make a non-aggressive puffing sound called a chuff. Snow leopards are not hostile to humans. Number 8. Leopard attacks impala. Pula is the name of this leopard, and she is the ruler of the forest, the kingdom's beating heart. Her ripped ear was only one of a decade's worth of scars from wars lost and won. Pula, who was not born into royalty, has worked hard to establish her rule. Her achievement, though, is tainted by tragedy. She only has one living heir. This season could be her last chance to make a lasting impression. She'll be tough and prepared. The benefit of having a high viewpoint in paradise is that there is always a seat at the high table. This lowly born woman's wealth is earned through sheer force of will. She keeps it with a strong grasp. The leopard is a master of hunting when it's dark, and even though this leopard makes the kill, nothing is certain, because hungry hyenas hear the cries of pain let out by the impala, so they will go looking for the animal. And should they find the leopard and the dead impala, they will try to steal it from the big cat. Hence, the reason leopards climb trees to eat their prey. Watch how the Three Rivers female ambushes an impala out in the open. It is a surgical strike. Unfortunately, she later loses a kill to a lion pride and some hyenas. It's never easy for the smallest of the big cats to hold on to its kill when there are pirates like hyenas and lions roaming around. Number 7. Leopard attacks zebra. Set against the stunning backdrop of the African savanna, this incredible footage captures the intense drama as a mother zebra bravely fights off a leopard in a desperate attempt to save her foal. The incredible determination of the mother zebra as she fights off the predator with her hooves and teeth is stunning. Mom courageously puts her own life on the line to protect her baby. This leopard has just killed a giant zebra and can now carry it up into a tree. Although it may not be able to defeat a lion, this animal possesses incredible strength and agility. When it arrives at its destination, it is fatigued, but at least it can have its dinner in peace. In this video, a crocodile almost catches a zebra, but the zebra escapes, except Just when it thinks it's safe, another predator, a leopard, shows up and grabs the zebra by the throat. I guess it was written in the books that this zebra was doomed. Number 6. Leopard attacks wildebeest. The leopard's hunting technique is to either ambush its prey or stalk it. In either instance, it tries to get as close as possible to its target. It then makes a brief and explosive charge, pouncing on its prey and dispatching it with a bite to the neck. In this instance, the leopard set up an ambush in front of its prey and sprung up to catch it. A famous leopard in Masai Mara hunts down a baby wildebeest in this video. This is the time of the season when wildebeest calves are born, making it easier for big cats like leopards to hunt and kill these vulnerable youngsters. This leopard is attempting to kill a wildebeest calf, but it wants to make sure its mother is not around, as a fully grown adult wildebeest can cause significant damage to a leopard. After scouting the area, it appears everything is in order, and the leopard seals the deal and takes its prey up a tree. A leopard has already taken down a wildebeest in this video and tries to finish it off once it's on the ground. This looks like a large wildebeest, but it doesn't stop the big cat from making the kill. Number 5. Leopard attacks monitor lizard. This leopard plays with this lizard for a while, and they end up becoming friends, laying down one next to the other. Monitor lizards aren't the best prey for leopards because of their thick skin, but if they don't eat them, they can always make a nice purse. This leopard snatches a monitor lizard without hesitation, denying the creature any chance of escape. The master hunter takes the reptile to his grave. Number 4. Leopard attacks dog. This video will come as a shock to all dog lovers. A farmer who had tied his dog to a leash outside his house lost his pet to a leopard attack. Since the house had no compound wall, the dog was an easy pick for the leopard on the prowl. As it was tied to a leash, the dog had no chance of escape. Forest officials are thinking of providing some financial aid to the farmer so he could build a compound wall. Apparently, 6 leopards are active in this area. The stray dog in this video has no clue he has just trespassed into enemy territory, but he finds out soon enough when a leopard comes running out of nowhere to pounce on the canine. After killing a dog, this young leopard was quarantined and given rabies treatments due to the human element of the dogs being brought into the area and to safeguard the animal population from exposure. He was later released back into the wild. Number 3. Leopard attacks cow. A leopard can be seen killing a cow on the side of the road. The cow is still alive, but not for long, as the big cat suffocates the animal, slowly bringing it to its last breath. Once the animal has succumbed, the hardest part is dragging it somewhere safe, and you can see how exhausted the leopard is doing this, so much so it must take a break before continuing. One thing is sure, there is no way the leopard is going to hoist this cow up a tree, so it will have to settle somewhere if it wants to eat before scavengers and other predators crash the dinner. A leopard attacks a large cow on a national highway in the middle of the night. The big cat has the cow by the neck on the side of the road, but when the lights of the vehicle startle the animal, he tries to drag the cow across the road. Only it's easier said than done because the cow is heavy and the leopard must take breaks in between. Another leopard has attacked a cow in the dead of night in the middle of the road, but when the vehicle filming the action gets too close, it spooks the cat and he abandons his prey to hide on the other side of the road. Number 2. Leopard attacks honey badger. Despite its diminutive size, the honey badger has a reputation for being Africa's most brave animal. It is even featured in the Guinness Book of Records as the most fearless mammal on the planet. Is it true that the leopard has the upper hand by dragging the honey badger into a tree? Down but never out, this honey badger fought hard to free itself from a mother leopard and her 2 cubs, and still opted to fight back instead of making an escape. Once the badger got his message across to the cats, he went off on his merry way. The honey badger this leopard has caught and killed was old and weak, but it still put up a fight. I guess at a certain age, even the mighty honey badger must admit defeat, but it still took this leopard over an hour to kill the animal. Number 1. Leopard attacks guinea foal. A guinea foal goes about its day, unaware it's in real danger. By the time it hears the leopard that's slowly edging towards it, it'll be too late. The leopard will enjoy his well-earned meal. Leopards, like other big cats, are excellent hunters who prey on other animals in their environment. Leopards frequently kill and consume small and medium-sized animals weighing 20 to 80 kilos. They are the only cats that usually carry their kills up in trees, away from possible thieves such as hyenas and lions. The resident female leopard, Malaika, is hunting guinea foal in this video when her daughter Chipadzua joins in on the action, but it doesn't look like it will be a successful hunt for the two felines. Watch what happens in this video, because it's quite spectacular and surprising as a leopard just pops out of nowhere in front of a vehicle to try and snatch a bird in midair but misses. The leopard took a big risk, but it could have been hit by a vehicle. I guess he didn't hear it coming. After stalking a guinea foal for a few seconds, a leopard decides to get closer, and just when the time is right, the leopard ambushes two birds and manages to get his big paws on one of them, which is